everyone, I don't do intros because intros are lame. Today I'm going to be filming the Booktube Newbie Tag. So this is a tag that people usually do when they first start their booktube channel to kind of let people know who they are, and so I'm gonna do it so you guys kind of have a better idea of who I am as a person. So question number one is, why did you start this channel? I feel like most everybody answers it this way, but I started this channel because I like books and I want to talk about them, and I don't really have a lot of friends in my daily life who read a lot of books, so I kind of just keep all of my book knowledge in Word. And so sometimes I'm like reading a book and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened, and I have nobody to really tell. I mean, my boyfriend kind of listens a little bit, but he doesn't really understand quite as well as somebody who has actually read that book too. So I decided to make this because I wanted to be able to express my book feelings to everybody. So question number two is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? And honestly, I'm not really too worried about trying to be like super unique and creative because I'm not really a creative person. I just kind of want to talk about books, and if people want to watch me, then great, yay, and if they don't, then that's great too. I just want to talk about books and express my joy for them. I did have my Bookstagram, which is the same as my channel name, Butterflies on My Bookshelf with periods in between the words. The link to my Bookstagram is down below if you want to check it out. But it didn't really let me quite get out everything that I wanted to say. So I was like, let's not cutting it. So I wanted to create this channel too, so I can express my love for books. Question number three is, what are you most excited about for this channel? And I'm most excited about to talk about books. I'm pretty sure that's probably everybody's answer, but that's the reason why I made this channel and the reason why I love doing it. So yeah, books are great. Question number four is, why do you love reading? I have always loved reading, like ever since I can remember, and it is the reason why I'm an English major now and I want to go into publishing, so it's the reason why I decided to do that with my life. Reading is just quite a different experience than really anything else out there. Take Turtles All the Way Down. Anybody can read Turtles All the Way Down, and everybody is going to imagine it a little bit differently in their head. They're going to see the characters a bit differently, they're going to see the setting a bit differently, and that's what I love about it. Like, it's like watching a movie, but it's more central to you and how you picture it, and I really love that. I also, side note, I really like when I read a book, I typically, like, in their house, like, for example, I always imagine, like, one of four houses, and they're usually not mine. It's, like, my sister's house, like, my friend's house, and, like, my grandma's house, and, like, I don't consciously be like, oh, I'm going to make their house look like my sister's house. It just kind of works out that way, and I love, like, I don't really realize it while I'm doing it, but then, like, I go back and I think about the book and I'm like, oh yeah, in my head I picture this person's house, and I think it's really funny that I do that, and I don't know if anybody else does that. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I really love that too. Reading is also my stress reliever. As of late, it hasn't been quite as helpful because I have to read for classes too, so by the time I get done with my homework, my brain's like, I want a break. But before college, it always was like, if I was stressing about like speech or something like that, I would just like read my book, and it would kind of help me forget about the things I was stressing about, especially the things that I can't do anything about. So like, for example, this past winter my grandmother was fighting cancer, and so a lot of times I was upset about that, and obviously there's nothing I can do, so I would read because it would take my mind off of it, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. Question number five is, what book series got you into reading? And like I said, I have been reading since as long as I can remember. My mom read to me before I learned how to read, but the main thing that sticks out in my head, like when I learned how to read myself, it was in first grade. And I actually, like, I knew how to read, I guess you could say. Like, I knew, like, how to sound out words and stuff before that. But I remember this one specific day in first grade when I was just, like, sitting and I'm looking at a book, and it kind of just clicked. Like, I went from reading, like, each word to being able to read fluent, like, sentences. And ever since then, I was like, this is amazing. And ever since then, I've just been in love with it. The book series that kind of like got me into reading, I guess, the book series that I loved reading the most as a kid was the Magic Treehouse series. I think I read up until like in the 40s or something like that, before I kind of grew out of them. But I absolutely loved that series. Like, I had the first 8 books and then a couple of other ones like sporadically, and if I didn't have anything to read like from the library or something, I would just like pop open the first book and just read it again. Like, it was amazing. I loved those books. And from there I went on to reading, like, I read Harry Potter in 4th grade and Matched in 6th grade and Divergent in 7th grade and like Hunger Games, and then like from there it kind of spread to more like young adult books and just really anything that I could find at the library. Like, I would just go through the books and be like, synopsis, wow, that sounds good, I'll check this one out. I actually, fun little story, in high school, we had this class period at the end of the day called Access, and it was kind of like a study hall sort of thing, and so mine was actually in the library. The librarian there actually taught me how to like check the books in and out and how to catalog them, and I knew how to like place them on the shelves already because that's pretty simple. So yeah, like and he was like almost never around because he was also the IT guy, so he was like running around and fixing people's computers and stuff. So then people would come into the library and we had like a little sign-up sheet where you could like write down the book you wanted, but instead of doing that, I was just like, oh, I'll check out your book for you, and so like I did it for them, and that was always kind of fun. Question number 6 is, what questions would you like to ask your favorite booktubers? And so my favorite booktubers are Hannah from A Clockwork Reader, Hailey from Hailey and Bookland, and Zoe from Read by Zoe. I started out with Hannah. She was the very first booktuber I watched, and I just fell in love with her. I think it's because her voice is so soothing, and I could listen to it all day. And she always has great things to say about her books. Like, she always has like a very firm opinion, and like she will tell you it, and it's amazing. I love that she's so genuine about her opinions. But if I could ask these 3 booktubers one question, it would be like, how do you have time for it all? Between like filming and editing and reading and then like other things in your daily life. Like, I don't think any of them are in college anymore, but I know they were at one point in their booktube career. So like, how do you go through college and get all your stuff done for your classes and also handle booktube and reading and having a social life and all that stuff? Like, that sometimes it gets a little crazy. Which is kind of why I haven't been reading quite as much as I normally do, just because I have just everything going on. So yeah, if I could ask them a question, it would be like, how did they manage all of that at once? So the last question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And for me, I've put out like 5 or 6 videos or something like that. So I have kind of a good idea of what things are challenging and what things are okay, rather than if like this was my first video. So, but the things that I struggle with the most are first like juggling it with school, and then also editing on my laptop, because my laptop is kind of old and not very good, and I use DaVinci Resolve to edit, and it heats up my laptop like a lot, and it takes and I don't know how laptops work, but it takes a lot of work for my laptop to be able to run it. And so, and I actually, one of my fans was broken, so I had to, like, when I would edit, I could only edit for like 10 minutes, and then I'd have to put my laptop down and let it cool down before I could edit again, otherwise it would overheat and shut off. But my boyfriend is a computer science nerd, and so he replaced my fan, so it's been helping a bit. My laptop doesn't overheat quite as much. I'm able to edit for longer than normal, but it still would help if I had a better laptop. So that's kind of some of the struggles I've been facing, is just editing in general and having time for everything, essentially. So that is all the questions for the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe down below. Also, you can follow me on my Bookstagram. If any of you want to do this tag, I tag you. Any new booktubers out there, go for it. I would love to see anything that you guys create. If you do decide to do this video, go ahead and link your channel down below in the comments, and I'll go check it out, because I love seeing new booktubers and seeing everybody's new unique opinions. Yeah, but if you like the stuff that I put up, make sure you hit the bell icon down below so you get notified when I upload. I usually upload every Friday around 5 p.m. Central Time. It's been a little wishy-washy just with editing issues and uploading problems with YouTube, but I'm trying really hard to make sure that they get up at 5. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!